And here we go, an action-packed game in prospect, one that should tantalise and entertain in equal measure. Ready for liftoff, and the fans are certainly expecting to see gripping theatre. Follow every twist and turn right here on EA TV. Hello, a warm welcome. We've dropped anchor here on the south coast of England at St Mary's Stadium. I'm Derek Ray, your match commentator, and alongside providing all the tactical analysis is Stuart Robson. And what we have for you is live action from the Championship. It's Southampton, and they take on Ipswich Town.
Well, both managers will be reminding their players of starting the game quickly, hitting the opposition back, playing the ball forward and regaining possession as quickly as possible. Hopefully we get a really good game here.
And here's how the lineup looks for Southampton.
Well, I think they have a nice balance to their team. A solid back four, two holding midfielders, three creative players in advance of them, and a mobile centre forward. It's a good team.
Here's the Ipswich Town starting 11.
Well, they're playing the same shape, really, so it's all about getting control of that central area and which of the wide players has the greatest effect on the game.
Thank you for attending St Mary's Stadium. Enjoy the game.
And there we have it, the first half is underway. Azor Matusiwa. Mehmeti. Dan Neil. Ben Johnson. Azor Matusiwa. On to Furlong. Oh, beating his opponent with ease. Well, in there to tidy up. Jack Clark. Ben Johnson. Now with Neil. Clark. Neil. Dara O'Shea. On to Furlong. O'Shea. Now with Greaves. Clark. Dan Neil. On to Greaves. O'Shea. On to Neil. Johnson. Good looking move. And just losing control of the ball, and it will be a throw-in. Successfully cut out the pass. Might lead to a chance. Ben Johnson. Dan Neil. Oh, quick and slick.
When they're playing like this, they're a joy to watch.
Neil. Matusiwa. Now with Mehmeti. Thoughtful play. Can they forge ahead? Well, they would have done had it not been for the keeper.
Well, they should be ahead now. Yes, it was a good save, Derek, but he should score from there.
Downs. James Bree. Flynn Downs. Harwood Bellis. And Bree here. Shea Charles. Manning has it. Azaz. Wood. Harwood Bellis. Well read to win possession back. Ben Johnson. Dan Neil. On to Clark. Matusiwa. Neil. Using all his defensive acumen to cut it out. Oh, could be an opportunity here. Now with Neil. This might be productive.
They just need a bit more penetration, that's for sure.
Darnell Furlong. Now with Neil. Azor Matusiwa. Did well to win the ball back. Wood. Archer. Nathan Wood. Flynn Downs. Azaz. On to Charles. Flynn Downs. Nicely constructed. Downs. Now with Charles. Taylor Harwood Bellis. Harwood Bellis. Charles. Nathan Wood. On to Charles. Wood. Downs. Taylor Harwood Bellis. Manning has it. Harwood Bellis. Flynn Downs. Wood. And now their turn to have the ball. Anis Mehmeti. Now with Clark. Matusiwa. Now with Furlong. O'Shea. Greaves. Azor Matusiwa. On to Makatia. Matusiwa. Jack Clark. Jacob Greaves. Ben Johnson. Flowing here, but a good piece of defending to bring it to an end. Furlong. Jack Clark. Now options are plenty. Ben Johnson. High-tempo football. Azor Matusiwa. On to Clark. Matusiwa. Trying to connect. Spot on with that tackle. James Bree. Now with Downs. And Bree here. Archer. On to Downs. Well, there's a living, breathing example of positional sense. Greaves. O'Shea. Dan Neil. Now with Greaves. Johnson. O'Shea. On to Furlong. Ben Johnson. On to Greaves. Dara O'Shea. Now with Downs. Harwood-Bellis. Wood. On to Downs. James Bree. Archer. Harwood-Bellis. Now with Downs. James Bree. Archer. On to Downs. Ryan Manning. Half-time then. That brings the first half to a close here on the South Coast. So underway again. You might call it a defensive masterclass so far. Will either attack come to life? Dan Neil. Furlong. Matusiwa. O'Shea. On to McAteer. Anis Mehmeti. Azor Matusiwa. Furlong. O'Shea. Now with Neil. Darnell Furlong. On to Greaves. On to Neil. A really single-minded piece of defending to make sure nothing untoward happened. Shea Charles. Well, the referee not too happy with the challenge and blows for a free kick. Furlong. O'Shea. Darnell Furlong. Mehmeti. Well, that's really strong play to keep hold of the ball.
Skill, strength and awareness. Really well played.
Eyeing an opening. Neil. Azor Matusiwa. Dan Neil. Matusiwa. Can they set up a chance? And taking it away. Harwood-Bellis. Manning has it. Finn Azaz. Ryan Manning. On to Downs. Azaz. Archer. Shea Charles. Taylor Harwood-Bellis. Ryan Manning. Now with Harwood-Bellis. Archer. Flynn Downs. Ryan Manning. On to Harwood-Bellis. Nathan Wood. Archer. It's with Larin. Wood. And snuffed out the danger immediately. Dan Neil. Plenty of options. Darnell Furlong. Fine tackle there to prevent the chance. Charles. Oh, bad place to lose it. And teammates to play it to. Maybe dangerous here. Now opening things up. Mehmeti. Nice looking move this. He'll be breathing a sigh of relief. Ball one.
Can Lucy Davis, that's Lucy Davis, please come
Charles.
to reception.
And unable to keep possession. Oh, danger here. Well, that attack collapsed completely.
Well, that was a really excellent piece of defending there.
Taylor Harwood-Bellis. Manning has it. Nathan Wood. Ryan Manning. Intercepted effortlessly. And moving it forward. Well, nothing comes of it. It looked promising. Azaz. Manning has it. Into the final 20 minutes. Shea Charles. And Southampton come away with it. James Bree. Now with Charles. Ryan Manning. Taylor Harwood-Bellis. James Bree. On to Downs. Effective on the flank. Very effective pass. To take the lead. And there it is. The deadlock has been broken. We wondered if a goal would arrive. Well, now it has. And will there be a response now?
Well, as you can see, he beats the defender so easily with a change of pace, and then it's a decent finish. That's a very good goal, you have to say.
So underway again, and time is tight if they have designs on a comeback. Greaves. Matusiwa. Azor Matusiwa. Darnell Furlong. On to Greaves. Anis Mehmeti. Matusiwa. Dan Neil. Now with Clark. Pass was misdirected.
That was far too easily given away.
10 minutes to go. James Bree. Possession often the best form of defence. Nathan Wood. On to Harwood Bellis. James Bree. On the cusp of the final whistle, and they're making home advantage count, but only just. Your thoughts?
Well, it's been a tight game, but I think they've been the better team. They've just had that little bit more quality, certainly in attack, and of course they've been well organised at the back. They just need to see this through now.
Matusiwa. Oh, they'll be disappointed. It looked promising. Well, there's still scope for late drama here. 5 minutes left and just one goal between the sides. Ryan Manning. On to Charles. Samuel Edozie. Charles. Flynn Downs. And Bree here. Nathan Wood. Now with Charles. Downs. On to Charles. Moving the ball forward. How creative can they be? Cutting in. And credit is due for that good piece of defending. Johnson. Azon. On to Neil. Azor Matusiwa. Furlong. And the referee has added on 2 minutes of stoppage time. Darnell Furlong. Anis Mehmeti. Johnson. Now with Neil. Clark. Ben Johnson. And that is the end of the contest, and not a happy outcome as far as the visitors are concerned.
Well, Derek, it was a poor result, but it was a really tight contest. Both sides had their chances, could have gone either way, but in the end, they will be disappointed.
But it just seems that this game, he's been a step ahead of his opponents in every way, Stuart.
Well, he obviously scored the winning goal, but it was his overall performance that impressed me most. He was on fire today.